You don't own a single game in your digital library, and Sony just set an expiration date for the discs you have left. You see a sale on the PlayStation Store, you hit buy, and you feel that hit of dopamine. You think that game is yours forever. But what if I told you that buy button is the biggest lie in gaming? By 2028, Sony plans to make sure you never have another choice. Let's talk about the license trap. When you buy a digital game, you aren't buying a product. You're paying for a temporary, non-transferable license to access that game. Think back to the recent discovery incident on the PlayStation Store. Thousands of people who paid for shows were told their content was being deleted because of licensing arrangements. Or look at Ubisoft, who didn't just shut down the servers for the crew, they literally revoked the license from players' libraries so they couldn't even boot the game. If you look at the EULA, the massive wall of text we all skip, Sony explicitly states they can modify or cancel your access at any time for any or no reason. In the digital world, you are a tenant, not an owner, and the landlord can change the locks whenever they want. And that's the real motive here, the death of the used game market. When you buy a physical disc, you hold an asset. You can trade it, lend it to a friend, or get credit at a local shop. Sony makes exactly $0 from those transactions. If Sony is the only seller, they have total control over the price. This leads us to a much bigger problem, the preservation crisis. If a disc exists, that game exists forever. You can find a PlayStation 1 disc in a rusty attic 30 years from now and it works. But even when you buy physical today, we're seeing a disturbing shift. Half of these modern discs are just glorified physical download keys that rely on a server to fetch the rest of the game anyway. If the day one patch is mandatory and the server is gone, that disc is just a $70 coaster. We've already seen the casualties. Think about the PT demo, which was a piece of gaming history that was wiped from existence the moment Konami pulled it from the servers. Digital history is only as permanent as a corporation's legal department allows it to be. This is exactly why the conversation around piracy has shifted. While the industry likes to frame piracy as purely about getting things for free, the reality is much more complex. Piracy has become the only viable method of digital preservation. When a company makes it impossible to legally buy or own a game you love, the gray market becomes the only library left standing. People aren't just pirating for the price, they're doing it for the permanence. They want to know that the games they've spent hundreds of hours in won't just vanish because a license expired. In a world where buying doesn't mean owning, piracy starts to look less like a crime and more like an archive. But here is the big reveal. All of this, the licensing shifts, the server shutdowns, it's all leading to one specific window. Based on current industry trajectories, supply chain data, and the shrinking presence of games in major retail chains, all signs point to Sony planning to exit physical manufacturing by 2028. This isn't just a guess, it's a roadmap. With the PlayStation 2, the disc was the only way to play. With the PlayStation 4, we started installing discs to the drive. Now, with the PlayStation 5 Pro, the disc drive isn't even included in the box. We are being conditioned, step by step, to accept a console that doesn't actually take games. By the time 2028 rolls around, the transition to 100% digital won't be a shock. Look at the rumors surrounding the biggest game of the decade. GTA 6. Insiders are suggesting that the physical edition of GTA 6 might follow the trend set by other major publishers. A box with no disc, containing nothing but a 12-digit download code. This is the ultimate Trojan horse. By using the most anticipated game in history to normalize code-in-a-box releases, Sony and Rockstar can train millions of players to accept a digital-only existence. When GTA 6 ships, the box might look the same on your shelf, but the contents will belong to Sony's servers, not you. It's the final step before the disk drive vanishes for good. In 2 years, the choice won't be yours anymore. Sony is betting that you'll trade your ownership for convenience. The question is, Are we okay with just renting our childhoods? Or is it time we start fighting for the right to actually own the things we pay for? I'd hate to ask, but if you liked the video, I'd really appreciate it if you liked and subscribed.